We are joined now by football correspondent Peter of Heyde, who is flying to Equatorial Guinea on Friday for the start of the tournament. Peter, starting with Group A, can you give us an idea of the strengths and weaknesses of each of the participating teams?
Okay, well, the first team obviously would have to be the hosts who jumped in at this late stage to host the competition, Equatorial Guinea. Their strength is undoubtedly the fact that they are playing at home. They lack any real stars, and the majority of their players play in the lower leagues in Europe and in Spain particularly, where in fact most of their players were born. But I think in a way that obviously is their weakness, that they lack the international experience, having not played at a high level. But they were very lucky in that they got a good draw, and that will undoubtedly be their main strength. The next team in the group would be Congo. I don't really like to say this often, but their main strength in a way is their coach, Claude Leroy, who's an experienced fox, so to say, at African level. He's already won the competition once, many years ago. He took them through a reasonably difficult group, which included Nigeria. And I think that Leroy, he brings out the best in his players. He's managed to do that. He's not scared of taking difficult decisions, like dropping Chris Samba. And I think a possible weakness that the side has is their goalkeeper department, in that the goalkeeper that they would like to have in the tournament, Brice Samba, who plays in France, obviously turned down the opportunity to play. That could count against them. In 2013, Burkina Faso were the surprise finalists and came very close to winning the tournament. They have an experienced side in that they've got many of the players who played in South Africa 2 years ago. They will be in Equatorial Guinea, led by the player of the tournament from the 2013 competition, Jonathan Petroipa. And that will count in them that their coach, Pol Pot, will be able to call on the experience of the side that he had in South Africa. Gabon, for me, is in many ways the dark horse in the group. That the last time they did well there was when they co-hosted the competition, and they went through to the quarterfinals and only lost on penalties to Mali. They have in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang a player who we know who can score. He scored a hat-trick on his Bundesliga debut for Borussia Dortmund, was the runner-up now in the African Football of the Year awards that were announced recently. So that really would be their strength. They also have a very experienced goalkeeper in Didier Ovono.
Thank you for that in-depth answer there, Peter. So you would be the man to ask. Which teams do you think will make the last 16 and why?
Well, I think Equatorial Guinea will have a good chance of going through, so I would be prepared to put my money on them. Unfortunately, we've often had at previous African Cup of Nations in many football competitions. It's not an African thing, that the home side maybe gets a little advantage when it comes to refereeing. Equatorial Guinea, they had a 93rd minute winner against Senegal the last time they hosted. They have the crowd behind them, so I would say Equatorial Guinea have good chances. And then I think it really depends on the head-to-head clash between Burkina Faso and Gabon. I fancy that either of them, probably Burkina Faso, going through. I think Congo, even though many people expect them to be the team to go through with them, in fact, Burkina Faso, I would put my money on Burkina Faso.
Okay, now let's look at Group B, where Tunisia's preparations have been hit by a last-minute striker shortage. Now, how much of a blow will the loss of their two favoured forwards, Faridine Ben Youssef and Saber Khalif, be?
Well, I mean, I think obviously, without a doubt, it will be a blow. I mean, there's no questioning that at all. They do have a number of other players that they can call up. You know, and Youssef Nsakni is one, for instance, that I've been following in Africa. He's been playing his football in Africa, and I think that the Tunisians also, they have such a strong side that they would be expected to go through.
Okay, as you say there, despite that loss, Tunisia are still expected to get out of the group. But which of the teams do you think will come second?
Well, I quite like Cape Verde. I think last year they were kind of, in a way, carried on a wave of euphoria, if you want to call it that. They were underdogs, and just everybody was singing their praises. And I think they'll have a good chance to go through again. They were one of the first, if not the first team to qualify for the competition, for the finals. And I would fancy their chances to maybe go through.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa.